Hey, it's Kory, and this is my evangelism story. A short while ago, I was given the opportunity to see dueling pianos at CD and me. This was after a very long day at work, 13 and a half hours if I recall correctly. So by the time we got there, it was pretty late and I was ready for a nap, but it was still a good time. I kept looking outside though. There's big windows and there's a propane fire pit out there, and the landscaping at CD and me is just beautiful. It was raining sideways, so I really it wasn't really worth it for me. Short time later, the rain stopped, and I was like, all right, I gotta go explore outside. So I'm just kind of walking around enjoying the landscape, and then I noticed that the fire pit is in fact a place like just like a quick meeting place for people. And I'm like, well, that's great. I'm gonna go meet some people. So I go hang out by the fire, and there's a guy there, and I think I opened with just asking him. I think I said, hey, what's your story? He ended up telling me that he's a fireman, and the firehouse that he stays at is actually haunted. He got around to telling me like it used to freak him out in the beginning, but I think the words he used were he's come to peace with it. And that hit me. I'm like, I know I need to say something to this guy. So I just told him, like, if something is not from God, then it is in fact from the devil. And what you're experiencing is not from God. What I had to say just sort of seemed to glance off him. So I don't think he really cared, which is unfortunate. And I walked away from that conversation feeling almost like it wasn't a win. You know, I felt a little bit discouraged, to be honest. But whatever. I wasn't going to let it, get me down. I think maybe a half hour later, I came back to the fire, and there was a man and a woman there. I don't know their relation. I didn't end up getting to know them very well. I didn't even ask their names. We just started just talking right away, and just had a good conversation. It turns out that we had similar backgrounds in faith and religion, I guess, if you want to call it. Or we all grew up Catholic, so we were able to relate on that level. Yeah, and she knows, apparently she knows one of you. She knows someone in the congregation at Grace Fellowship. Yeah, just a good, wholesome conversation about Jesus and sharing different opinions. They were not followers of Christ at that moment. I think they just maybe had some knowledge of him. I didn't get to lead them through salvation, but it was still just a really good conversation. When that conversation ended is when we left to go home. And I remember like turning and walking away and feeling like energized. Like I was no longer tired. I no longer needed a nap. It was a very distinct feeling. So when I was sharing this story with my friend Dan, he reminded me of the woman at the well and how Jesus sort of ministered to her, and Jesus shared with her the good news of himself and how she ran off in great joy. So when the disciples came back with food, they offered some to Jesus, and he said, no, he's like, I don't need food. I have food that you don't know about. And they were like, really? Like, is he hiding food from us? And he's like, no. He said, my nourishment comes from doing the will of God who sent me. And that got me really excited. Like, I was like living scripture or something, because that was the feeling I had talking about Jesus with people. Just really, really charged me up. I think what I want to encourage everyone here to do is put yourself out there. Step out of your comfort zone. Like, just take that step out. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but the reward is great. That joy that you have in knowing Christ and living a life that glorifies God, you got to share that feeling. Like, focus on that. When you step outside of your comfort zone, you in fact expand your comfort zone. Yeah, it's not always going to feel like a win either. There's going to be some practicing. There's going to be some awkwardness. You're going to walk away a little bit discouraged sometimes maybe, but you don't need to. It's all a learning process, and as long as you are doing what we're called to do, it's just open your mouth and share your faith, share Jesus with people. So we're in this evangelism series right now, and I really want to encourage you guys to really look for these opportunities to share Jesus with people. whether it be strangers or people you know already. Pray that the Lord will send you opportunities and give you strength and the courage to, just be bold.